Real talk, real quick. Am I the only one that thinks Walking Dead is just a straight up banger? Like, me personally, I think it's better than Breaking Bad. Noted, never seen Breaking Bad. But, or The Sopranos, or Game of Thrones, whatever. The Walking Dead is peak. The show is so good to me, in fact, it is one of my biggest conversation starters. All I really do when I talk about TV shows is talk about The Walking Dead, because it's the only show that I have really finished multiple times, other than, like, Raising Hope. That's a deep cut if you know it. But, unlike me, a lot of people seem to fall off of the show depending if something happens, like major character deaths. They would never do that.
Number 1. Carl Grimes.
Side tangent, what the fuck were they thinking when they killed him off? Like, that he's the main character in the comics. The whole story is told by his perspective. Spoiler alert, I guess. He's the main character, and I have to watch him die even though he survived everything that was thrown at him. This whole executive decision is a story for another time. It genuinely makes me upset, and it is the reason why I stopped caring about the show when it happened. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the moment that saved The Walking Dead for many people. For many, a lot of people stopped watching around season 6 when the show got a little annoying because people didn't know how to survive. A lot of people got upset because Glenn and Abraham died. A lot of people got upset because Carl died. A lot of people got upset because Rick left the show. And for that moment on, Michonne was about to leave, but before that, we had the Whisperers. I think the Whisperers are awesome. Say what you will about them. You could hate Alpha, you could hate Beta, you could hate the storylines that go with it. Me personally, I kind of just wish Carl was there to see it. Say what you will, though, this moment is terrifying. For Walking Dead fans, this was our 9/11. We remember it like it was yesterday. We remember where we were. Some people would say their moment is when Negan killed someone, but that was kind of a planned attack. We knew that was coming. This was out of nowhere. We had no idea this was happening in this episode unless you paid attention to leaks, spoilers, or anything of the sort. It wasn't teased in trailers. None of that. I remember I was laying in bed. It was like 2 in the morning, and I was like, what's going on in The Walking Dead? I haven't stayed tuned for a bit. And it said, the biggest moment from AMC's The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 15, and I watched it, and it was this moment. Make it clear, I also read the comics. I had the 3rd Walking Dead Compendium, which pretty much was before the death of Glenn, all the way to King Ezekiel's death, who is the final member revealed of this very tragic moment. And that's where it ends. That giant, hard book that has like 1 million Walking Dead comics in it, it ends with King Ezekiel's head sitting there on the pike. I remember the Whisperers very roughly. I remember Lydia and Carl's storyline very well, and I remember this moment. And I remember always thinking when I was younger, this is something that I can't imagine being seen in live action. Jokes aside, like I said, I remember laying in bed watching this and seeing that image of the pikes over the hills, and my entire body froze. I remember just feeling miserable. It was like a traumatic moment that I wasn't ready to experience. It was so surreal. It was Paige brought to life. It was something I never thought I would see adapted. It was always going to be jarring, no matter who they put on these pikes. Walking Dead has always been good at exceeding our expectations and subverting us into feeling, hey, how is this going to go about? Who are they going to kill and how are they going to kill them? And they're usually always right, because it always plays out well for the story. Except recently! What the fuck? In the comics, the biggest one is Ezekiel. Before him, it is Rosita. And here we have a bunch of smaller characters who we were introduced to throughout this season, the past couple seasons. But when we get to the real heavy hitters, that's when it becomes real. It's sitting there experiencing the fact that we lost Enid, who we have had for a couple of seasons now. And that was just like, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they did that. And then we have, Eugene talking to Gabriel, like, where's Rosita? We're missing Rosita. How is this possible? Just for the show to expertly and most geniusly put in Tara, who we have known since season 4. 5 seasons we've had her. And the big one, we're expecting the king to be laid to rest, and yet he's fine. He's perfectly fine, and we have to watch Carol suffer again because her surrogate son, one of many, has been killed. And this moment, dude, I rewatched it earlier. I was bawling. I was like, ugh, so hard to watch. The way this scene plays out, it's so good. Reminder, this isn't the first time Carol has lost a child. The Walking Dead has always been good at putting characters first, like, placement later. And I mean that as, when I watch The Walking Dead, I don't watch Andrew Lincoln, Norman Reedus, Denai Garcia. No, I'm watching Rick Grimes, Daryl Dixon, Michonne. I'm watching people survive any way they can. The show is acted phenomenally, and there's all these such amazing twists and turns that always make me feel some way. Little details like these characters, they're dead, their heads on pikes, but their mouths are moving. They're walkers, their eyes are jaded, and they're moving ever so slightly because, these are people that were loved, that we get to see not only mortifyingly destroyed, but they're still there, ever so slightly. Every year I watch Skybound's reactions to The Walking Dead because I love the audience engagement this show has. I love the fact that we all feel the same way, and we all feel somewhat different when something in this show happens. It is amazing. This moment is harsh, but it did bring a lot of people back on their feet. A lot of times when you watch The Walking Dead, especially in these scenarios where they're in wars, it kind of just seems like, all right, we're going to shoot each other a little bit, we're going to scare each other a little bit, but nobody's going to die. Well, you just lost 10 characters. You just lost 10 of your pawns that were on the table. 3 of them were major characters. One of them even took over Carl's storyline, but we can't help. I would love to keep going into detail about this moment, but there's really not much more I could say. It's just pure heartbreak, tragedy, well acted, phenomenal, keeps me on my feet, and reminds me what The Walking Dead means, Like, this is one of the only moments in, like, season 9 to, like, 12, other than, I got bit. Oh, that's a sham. Looks like we gotta kill you. This is one of those moments of, like, no, there is a threat. Walkers are easy, but now they're like evolved or whatever. But people is where it's a problem. I have so many more of these moments I wish to talk about. So if you guys enjoy them, please like this video, subscribe. I do a lot of giveaways on this channel. If you want to be a part of that, subscribe. And I would love to talk about other moments. If you want to see me talk about some moments from The Walking Dead, comment them down below. Thanks for watching, and peace out.